everyone, welcome to another episode of Straight Talk. We are your Straight Talkers. My name is Hafiz and today I'm fasting, so this prop is just a prop. It's not got no water actually.
Hi, I'm Wei Liang. I don't believe in paise piece, so if there's a last piece on the dish, I will eat it. No food wastage.
No food wastage.
Wow. Even those food that you don't like.
Precursor to today's topic.
Don't like then I think I'll leave it.
Okay. Hi, my name is Ekman. I am actually quite thrifty. I don't spend a lot, and basically most of the money go to spend on my kids. Good Father Day.
Self-proclaimed a good father.
Yes, have to. Nobody praise me. So
That's true. Okay, so as it is with every episode, we will start off our Straight Talk session with our Bui song issue.
Wow.
So, can I do the honors of being the first one today? Because it's something that's very pressing and something that I'm very passionate about.
Okay.
Can I?
Okay.
Let's go.
Now it's fasting month, right? Now we're having fasting month, right? So of course, every fasting month, there's a lot of bazaars around Singapore, right? And one of the biggest one is the one in Geylang, Serai, right?
Yes.
So recently there was an article that said that out of the 700 stalls that were prepared for the bazaar, right now about 200 stalls are still empty. And this is due primarily to the rental prices.
Wow.
So the rental prices, a friend, this is just a benchmark, a friend who has a kebab stall, $24,000.
24
Yeah,
for 1 month.
for 1 month. 36 days lah. You know?
Can break even or not?
I don't know. I asked him, can you break even? He says most probably cannot break even. Yeah, so, and the prices range from 18K to 21K to 24K.
That's crazy, man.
Crazy. So, of course, me being me, I express my unhappiness over social media lah. Right? Just to say like, why is it such a capitalist thing right now? You know, why is it being privatized? If it's going to be a cultural thing, why can't we do something about controlling the prices? You know?
Yes, correct.
Because it's a yearly affair, right? So it's not going anywhere. It is going to happen nonetheless. And the organizer said that the price to upkeep and maintain and actually execute the plan is $2.5 million. So basically, someone came forward from the organizer team, said that actually they have been doing lots of things to help these stall owners. So number one is to allow them to have partial payment. Okay. And then the other one says, sometimes they don't even have to pay, they just give us a cut of their profit, like 20% or 30%.
Okay.
But the question is not about making this policies for them. The issue is, why has it become so exorbitant?
Yeah, first of all, the partial payment, I assume you can make partial payments, but eventually you have to still pay the full
Pay
sum,
the full
right?
price. And if you don't make money,
And then what if, and then to the 20% one, what if your 20% is really a small amount? Will they chase after the store person?
we'll find out on the eve of Hari Raya. But anyways, so that's the Buisong topic. That's what I've been handling the past week. Okay, anyways, that's my Buisong issue.
Okay.
I'm dying to know what happened to you in the past week.
So Minister Indrani nearly cost me a friendship.
wow.
No. So remember some time ago, someone wasn't behaving well in Parliament, and then she put her things aside,
Correct.
stood up in a calm and collected manner, went up to the podium and spoke her mind.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So
Calmly.
Calmly.
calmly. So my friend showed me a video. Right, it was fast forwarded. So when the video was fast forwarded, right, it does look like she's throwing down her stuff,
I saw the one.
storming up, and then rushing to the podium to speak her mind.
Yeah.
So I'm really quite disappointed with social media these days, how they force represent things.
Correct.
That's more like a clickbait.
That is a clickbait.
Yeah.
But as a result, it strained my relationship
So what
with
actually
a
happened?
friend that I love so much.
Okay.
So I think people should
it's
be more
okay.
responsible.
I think it's okay with you and your friend now?
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing that you point out that it's fast forwarded.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
the typical Singaporean won't really go and analyze and say that, hey, actually this one fast forwarded.
Because I saw both versions. One is the fast forwarded one, and one is the one that's really like
actual pace.
Actual pace.
Yeah.
I think we need to stop putting ministers to levels of perfection that they are unable to express even the slightest bit of unhappiness. You know, I mean, if it really did happen to me, I wouldn't have as much composure as Minister Indrani. You know, the fact that she just like swiftly, okay, the word is she's just swiftly put her file to the side, and then she went up, and once she's in front of the camera at the podium, she presented herself calmly with a lot of tact, you know, without a raised voice, very calculated, you know, which I think is the best. Like you gotta
And
kill
she
them with
wasn't even
kindness.
scolding. I think it was just
Just
a
a
reminder
reminder.
that there is some
Yeah.
etiquette to be respected
Correct.
in Parliament.
Correct.
My Buisong one.
Besok,
Yes.
Okay, so you just now you talk about throwing a foul. Mine will be the auntie that throw the egg when she was at Toast Box.
Toast box. Oh yeah, very famous.
Yes.
Yeah, very viral.
What's that about? Can you elaborate more?
So I think basically she's not happy that the egg is wasn't cracked
Cracked open.
for her.
Okay.
Then you want it to be cracked. You go to the
But
Kun one lah.
Aren't you supposed to crack it yourself?
So if you go to coffee shops, most of the time you crack yourself. They give you in that plastic
Tumbler.
Tumbler,
or
yes.
whatever you call
So
it.
ask you to wait for 7
Yeah,
minutes.
then the other one is Yakun opens it for you.
But I
it's the
don't
only
want
one,
anybody opening it
So
for
I feel like I should be at the I should be the one handling my food. So I don't see any issue with that. But she just wanted. So basically, it's sometimes not what you say; it's how you say it. If you want someone to help you to open or crack your eggs,
Yeah.
just ask nicely, lah.
You don't
need to
throw, right? You don't, not because the egg is not cracked for you and then you throw back and egg.
Some-
Why the egg is not?
So the videos on viral on TikTok, right? Someone on TikTok said she's actually a spy from Yakun.
Because Yakun cracked the eggs for people.
Yeah, in a way,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
But how do you prefer to just crack your own eggs?
Yeah lah. If not, how I know how long the egg has been laying on the
Okay.
counter for?
True. What about you?
I prefer to crack on my own.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to go through the process, digging
Yeah,
the egg,
scrape off the side, make sure
scrape.
no food waste.
Yeah. In fact, I saw from a comment quite interesting. The next thing is the auntie could be asking whether you can feed her. or not. You crack open for her, must pour the soy sauce for her.
Wipe
then
her
must feed or
mouth.
not.
Showing me the video, right?
Mm.
I think the staff could have de-escalated the situation.
That's true. That's true.
Because she was like, no happy ah, call police ah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But that's a very Singaporean thing, what? Call police.
there's no comeback to that. Ah. It can only escalate.
Yeah. Okay, speaking about the egg, I think there was one issue that was very famous about one of our ministers who said something about eating and changing our diet. I can't remember exactly what she said. Maybe either of you can remember. You remember what she said?
Something like if you cannot find chicken, then you can find other source of meat like egg, something like that.
I mean, not too long ago, another minister also made the mistake, right? That
What did he say?
cotton comes from sheep.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yes.
He said that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What comes from sheep? Wool, right?
Wool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cotton comes from a plant.
Yes.
I mean, in case you don't know lah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you have that look on my face like you also like,
I try to look intelligent. And, no. Yes. Wow.
Yeah. So, if this minister is coming,
yeah.
what are we talking
We can
about?
talk to her about everything and anything that's got to do with sustainability and the environment. And one thing that I want to ask her, definitely want to ask her, is the implementation of the 5 cents for every plastic bag.
Oh, yeah. It's been quite a hot topic.
In
Yes.
July, is it? Is July?
Troublesome. Like.
Yes.
3rd July.
3rd of July. 3rd of July onwards, okay?
Yep.
A 5 cent charge for each plastic bag used. Okay, before we even ask her, what are your thoughts about this? Yay or nay?
No lah.
Why?
There's also a running joke
Okay.
that there are no plastic bags wasted in all Asian households.
I know.
Because they are all located under the sink.
Yes.
Yes.
And they're all folded in a triangle. If you are
No,
not...
I'm very messy one. I buy the
Oh,
IKEA
okay,
one, I
okay,
stuff
okay.
it all in.
Yeah,
My
I also
father-
use the IKEA one.
My father will spend time to just flip
Fold
out,
nicely.
fold into the say what you
Origami,
ninja.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it?
yeah. Something like that.
The
Photo
triangles.
triangle.
But okay, personally, I think anything that you charge Singaporeans for is a good deterrent.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think go for it. I mean, I understand the reason why they do it is because they do not want cross contamination, and
Yes.
after that, but I mean, because as an individual, what I always do, I said, it's okay, it's fine, just put everything in one bag. Because they really spam the plastic bag like nobody's business. Like you really end up with like 10, 12 pieces of plastic bag with just one grocery shopping, which is a lot, and that's only one person there. Can you imagine?
Yeah, but I like the plastic bag, no?
Why?
Then I bring back, then I can recycle, use it as to collect all my rubbish, ma.
Yeah.
Alright, because I still need to bring all my rubbish to
Question.
the central.
Okay. So
rubbish
if
bin.
they stop giving plastic bags at supermarkets,
Yeah.
Or they
will
make it
you end
chargeable.
up going to buy special plastic bags to line your rubbish bin?
Have to?
Yeah, I've already started using reusable tote bags.
No, I
No,
mean
for your
just for
rubbish,
rubbish.
Oh, for rubbish.
Yeah. Because you need to, my house, I need to bring it to the centralized one. So
I would think that I would start buying the black trash bag already.
still have to use, right?
But still plastic, right?
Still plastic,
Yeah,
ma.
that's true lah.
Or recycle, meh?
Like I really don't understand this. Okay, so
Okay.
so then some people,
Yeah.
some of my friends will tell me, oh, you can reuse the bread bag, or you can reuse the
It's
toilet
always- it's
paper
always
bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Paper bag.
No, the toilet paper 1 dozen roll. So you
Oh,
cut
yeah,
nicely on top, then you got quite a nice long bag.
Still plastic, ma.
But reuse lah.
So
Reduce and reuse, ma.
the Sheng Siong one also reuse, ma.
Worry about what the big corporations are excreting
Correct.
out into the environment, you know?
To me, right, all those fast food restaurants cutting out the straws, right?
Yeah.
To me, I think they see it more as a cost saving
True.
measure
Yeah.
rather than the environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
They say save the turtles.
In fact, they use the recyclable straw, right?
Yeah.
That one look like paper.
Oh, I hate those straws.
Wow, I hate it.
I hate it.
Oh,
Myself
they-
After
they
15
integrate.
minutes, it just like...
Yeah, it cannot start already after that.
Yeah.
Okay, since we are quite torn, right, whether it's a good initiative or not good initiative, what are the bags that we can possibly use after this?
Yes.
I think the best person to answer this question is the lady herself, okay? Minister for Sustainability and Environment, Ms. Grace Fu! Okay, 5 cent, why?
Why?
How?
Yeah, you really need a change, because what we are really talking about is a change of the behavior and change of mindset.
True.
So we need to start broad-based, something that is significant so that people will say, there's something different today as opposed to yesterday. When we go on to Singapore Green Plan, what is every Singaporean doing differently now than before? So 5 cent change, actually, the paper plastic bag, to be very honest, doesn't really move carbon emission. But the fact is that you make people sit up and say, there is an individual responsibility in this, and that's really usage of plastic bag and reducing wastage.
The whole idea about recycling is actually much more heightened and more, I think, more advanced.
Yeah, but before we touch that, I think go back to the plastic bag, right?
You still want to
I
talk
think
about
because
Because you want to know, like, what do we use to trash our...
we
Yeah,
still
the
we
biggest
still need
issue-
to bag. We still
Yes.
need to
Okay.
bag our
Yes.
trash,
Yes.
right? Because
Yes.
we really don't want people staying in the level 2 and then have all this rubbish raining
True.
Yeah,
through your
correct.
rubbish chute, right? So we need to bag it, but we still can find plastic bags in Singapore, So this charge is not a ban. Which is what other countries are doing. Many countries are banning plastic bags, but we are not. Because we know that we need plastic bag, it's still very convenient for bagging of trash. But where can we find? So for example, if you buy toilet rolls, that's a bag. If you buy tissue box, that's a bag. If you have 5 kg rice packs, that itself is a plastic bag. And if you go and buy stationery and so on, you still find plastic bags around. So it's about not taking more than you need, not having, when you go to a supermarket now, it tend to be 1 watermelon, 1 bag, 1 papaya, 1 bag, 1 shampoo, 1 bag. It's really a lot of waste. So how do we reduce the waste and yet still find plastic bag to bag? That's the challenge. So we don't think we need to have people buying disposable trash bags for it, but we need people to think about saving all the plastic bags that's in our environment already and use it properly for bagging of trash.
We were also talking just now about how sometimes it's quite scary to see how the lady at the counter of Sheng Siong or NTUC just bag after bag after bag for just one purchase. So it's quite scary.
Yeah.
but-
And even in the supermarket, if you buy those loose fruits, you will still have those plastic
Plastic
bags.
bag, yeah.
Those are still plastic bags you can use and you can find. Yeah.
True.
So, yes, so sometimes I ask the question to myself, are Singaporeans actually ready to go on this whole recycling and sustainability route?
Yeah.
Because when I was living in Japan, right, I lived in Japan for about a year, the recycling program there is pretty crazy. So every development or slash condo as we know it has a basement area and they separate it into a lot of segments. So for example, right, glass bottle, you're supposed to wash it, of course. And then the glass bottle cap is metal, right? Then you got to put it in the metal one and then put it in the glass one. Then you don't want your shoes anymore, then your shoes will go into the leather one or the rubber one. And then the Ayam brand can and the normal drinks can,
different from the
two
Coke
different
can,
kinds of
okay.
metals.
You need to wash it as well.
Yeah, you need to wash it and then somehow know what material it is and then put it to the right.
But then the question is, do the Japanese actually know the difference and they follow it through?
Yes, they do. So it's been inbuilt in them.
This is an ingrained thing lah.
I don't know if they do it at kindergarten level or primary school level, maybe Minister knows more.
Possibly.
But yeah.
No, the wonderful thing also is that if you don't do it, someone will knock on your door and say, by the way, you should be really separating your trash.
Yeah.
That's a really social consciousness. But I think the situation is a bit different because over there in Japan, they actually don't have a lot of incineration. So the ash, what do you do? Your trash, what do you do with it? Actually, you need to find ways to really recycle it well. And for them, they have enough, sort of recycling to do with wood, to do with metals and so on. In Singapore, unfortunately, for example, we don't have a lot of manufacturing of canned food or drinks. We import a lot of it. A lot of it is from Malaysia. So if we collect the bottles and we don't recycle it, then separating it into 9 or 10 types, it's actually not very meaningful because in the end, you still have 10 trucks coming to your HDB estates to collect each one of them unless we find good use for that waste stream. So this is what we're doing. We're saying that, okay, let's start with e-waste first because e-waste, there's a lot of good material in there and commercially, there are companies who want to recycle e-waste. Takes out all the copper wire and all the chips that's in there and recycle the metals. So we separate that. Okay. And now we're going to find someone that will take in the plastic and beverage containers as a group. So we will do waste stream by waste stream. So over time, you may find more than one bin, but we are trying to balance it because the more bins you have, the more collection points, the more collection trucks, the more companies will be involved. So finding a right balance is what we're trying to do.
So recently, somebody started collecting shoes. As we read in the news, the shoes were not exactly recycled or made into
Yeah,
So
that's really unfortunate.
What's your view on that?
Well, it's unfortunate. It shouldn't be that way because a scheme, a program that promises that going to use these shoes for making of running tracks, and if it's not used, consumers will feel cheated, right? I mean, you're being let down, which is really not a good thing to do. So it's about really being responsible, what you promise, and then delivering on the promise. So in this case, it's really about used sport shoes, taking out the sole and then grinding it and make it into, tracks, running tracks and so on. So we hope that they can tighten up that part of the logistics and make sure that all the shoes are collected. But what we do know actually is that the shoes that are collected, that they are charged to the company, they are indeed used for the tracks. It's some of the shoes that are perhaps better and the waste collector thought that actually they can be sold and they basically exported it for resale.
On a scale of 1 to 10, all right, if you were to give a rating, how well do you think Singaporeans are equipped or in their knowledge of recycling?
I think maybe about a 3. This is an area that I'm very buisong myself.
Yes,
because I think that, I will say it this way. The older generation, they are really big savers.
Yes.
If you go to your grandmother's house,
Correct.
she will have all this glass bottles, she has all the tapao kind of disposables, all clean, put on side to be reused, right? But if you tell her this, plastic bottle, plastic cap, got to separate and all that, she'll say, why are we doing this, right? Mafan, right? Yeah. Similarly, for the young people, I think they know the need for recycling because they were taught in school, right? In the recycle, you have to separate the paper and all that. But then again, if you go out to work and say, please bring your reusable bottle, please bring your reusable bag, again, mafan, right? So I don't think it's a lack of knowledge. I think sometimes it's about changing the lifestyle. And we may have to change the lifestyle or pay a little bit more to really have a change in the sustainability of Singapore.
So what do you think would it take to have Singaporeans to just be more adept, and more willing to just take that small step, to
I'm
building this,
asking that question myself all the time. What does it take? But of course, I think we're trying to go to a journey, go through a journey. We have a destination. So I think it's always, tempting to say, why don't we move from here to there straight away? But as we all know, I've tried to, for example, reduce my weight, go on, diets and all that. If you have something that's too drastic, maybe you can follow it for a week. Maybe 1 or 2 person can follow you, but to have the entire population agreeing to do that in the long run, I think it's not so easy. The best is to take small steps, and then you work along the way. So I would say that it has to be probably really all hands on deck. I think we hear this quite cliche, but all hands on deck, which means if you want people to recycle, the recycling infrastructure must be improved. It must be easier for people to recycle. It also means that for the companies to make products, it should really make it easier for recycling, right? So if you can choose to have the same material, rather have very different material, or one material that's not recyclable at all, so that it's difficult to handle. Look at packaging. How can we reduce the packaging so that less material is being used? So it's really about consumer, producers, companies, as well as government infrastructure, all making adjustment as we go.
Yeah, because I think it's really important because Singapore, and this is a fact. Singapore is one of the highest carbon emitters per capita in the world,
And you know why?
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
because
why?
we have this Jurong Island. This place called Jurong Island, right? Because we have big refinery. We have number 8 in the world as a refinery. Of course, our population is 5 million. So we refine, we produce all these petrochemicals for the rest of the world. So the carbon emission, yes, in Singapore, indeed is under our count, but actually the product is exported to the rest of the world, right? So we do have high per capita. Having said that, we are still, quite lucky to have air conditioning, offices, schools. Many of us air condition our homes. We use a lot of cars, private cars. We don't cycle as much. And most of us like to travel by plane.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So these all adds up to our per capita footprint.
Of course.
So a lot of it is industry, is petrochemical, it's about power generation, a significant also in a built environment.
Okay, I think our main concern is a lot of consumers, they feel like they're being victimized because all this 5 cents, 10 cents, no straw. We were just talking about how
no straw.
the elimination of straws in fast food restaurants.
Only benefits the business.
Yeah.
Victim.
Cost less items to indent for, right?
Yeah.
And then we were like, and then they change it to the paper straw, which is
15 minutes inside, cannot suck already.
it's just what is happening?
Actually, I totally agree, because here it seems to be, looking at plastic and say we must eliminate everything plastic, right? But actually in Singapore, even paper straw is not a good alternative because you need to cut down trees for
Correct.
everything has impact on the resource.
Yeah.
So I think you all feel victimized. I also want to speak on behalf of planet Earth. The planet Earth is the one that is really suffering because we are really plundering the resources and it's not sustainable. It's obviously ill because you can see that it's not coping very well, with all this extreme weather that's coming.
Yes.
It's really a sign that, hey, planet Earth is sick, right? So we actually, all of us need to make the health, of the earth better. And it starts from all of us as consumers. So we have to look at how to, change our behavior so that our impact on the environment is clear, And when we talked about how do you reduce resources that you use, how do you save on plastic bags that you otherwise normally would just throw down the chute, but to use it for bagging of trash. All these are changes in our behavior. Hopefully, will give environment a breather.
So what would you say, right, to the typical average person who thinks that I alone one person cannot do much one lah.
Okay, that and also that's A. B, those who are like, I can only do so much. Like, shouldn't the big corporations be held responsible because they are the ones who are really emitting all this rubbish, no pun intended, to Mother Earth, you know?
Still got one more C.
Oh, see, okay.
Singapore so small. Even you let everybody walk, don't drive car. How much can we do?